everyone. Startup Lanes, thank you for doing this. Investors, thank you for being here. Great job, Shruti. Let's talk of an international traveler or an NRA at an Indian airport, right? Because of TRAI regulations, they can't access Wi-Fi if they don't have roaming. Now imagine this traveler sitting there at an Indian airport where he's wondering what's happening to his or her flight. Imagine that a real live notification of a flight change or a gate change flashes on his mobile, which is practically on aeroplane mode. Imagine this happening on a phone that is, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. We demonstrated this. Imagine that this traveler is also able to send an SMS to somebody sitting outside the airport. Okay? So the net result is you have a passenger who's extremely happy. What is the problem we are trying to address? In the Indian travel industry today, at the airports, you have crores of passengers. The challenge for airports and airlines is to see how you can provide a personalized attention, a personalized service to every single passenger at the airport, irrespective of whether or not they are connected to the internet. That's the problem we are solving. So enter the takeoff travel platform. I'm struggling with this remote here. So let's say that out of the 41 crore passengers that are expected to travel in 2021, let's say that only 10% of them shop. Out of the 10%, let's say maybe 20% would eventually shop on a mobile app. And out of this 20%, the market we are addressing with our takeoff platform is 50%. There are two areas which are completely unexplored in the Indian market. One is sending context-sensitive promotions or advertisements, if you like, to every single traveler. Something that appeals to each and every traveler, or the most of them, that is sensitive to the context of that travel. This is not done in India today at all. Okay? In airlines, in airports, it's not done at all. That is one aspect. And the other, of course, is e-retailing. Retailing, you know, where you can, how do I put it, pre-order duty-free food, whatever you like, doing it during your travel. So that's the market we are addressing. How are we doing this? Is today we have our microservices running on the cloud, can be deployed on premises at an airport. You can bundle it, package it any way you like. Airlines and airports can white label it on their platform and then deliver it on a mobile app to the end traveler. We are in terms of traction, we've discussed this with a couple of airports. They're very excited because there's something very new where, you know, it's magic, right? A phone on an airplane mode gets real live notifications, right? We're making this happen today. So in terms of traction, we see a lot of interest from airports in India. We also plan to reach out to airports like Singapore where they have a similar issue. And in terms of competition, it's very, let's say, fragmented today. You have silos everywhere. There are some guys who are doing a B2C app and the penetration is not very great. There are some apps that are doing duty-free, you know, pre-ordering, which is again very fragmented. So that's our competition, and what we are looking for is to partner with airports and investors to always stay a couple of steps ahead of the competition. Thank you. So, any questions?
So how do you push the message?
Good question. So we're getting something very basic on the phone that the user will of course have to give permission when he or she uses it. So that's what we're doing, a very basic radio functionality. And we demonstrated this to a couple of airports already in India. We took two phones, an Android, which was my wife's Nexus 5 from, I don't know, 2013, and an up-to-date one, switched off everything, including NFC, because they suspected an NFC tag somewhere. We asked them to give us a gate change, a flight change, boom. So one request from an airport was, it's fine for a person who's inside the airport in a control environment where you can deploy whatever you like. What about this traveler sending a message to a taxi driver, somebody outside? We said, give us 2 hours, we'll code it for you.
I mean, is it something related with the infrastructure of the airport, or?
Thank you, sir. Good question. So today we did some homework. Today, at least 90% of the airports worldwide, they already have this infrastructure with them. So we just piggyback on it. There will be a little bit of adaptation, and we can do it easily.
So do you have an IP on it?
We are talking to some of our colleagues to see how we can patent this. Patenting is more for marketing purposes because in India, patent doesn't.
I mean,
Yeah, we are exploring that, sir. Yes, we are. We are. Yes, sir. Sorry, there are I had two things here. I'm sorry. So your revenue model. So what we are telling airports is that one is you come to us, you are doing something unique, so come with us rather than going with somebody else. The revenue model is simple. We see a lot more money being made by an airport or an airline on the personalized content advertisements, right? So when we talk of digital marketing, there is this cost of acquisition. So there is a certain cost of acquisition when you advertise on a Google or a Facebook. And here the cost of acquisition for an advertiser, be it an advertiser anywhere on the planet, it could be somebody selling SIM cards in Paris to customers who are traveling from an airport to Paris, for example, right? So that is the business model.
Are you going to charge the airlines or airports for the using your services? Is that the revenue model? Are you going to embed some advertisement when you are sending this message? Or you are saying that I will generate additional revenue using your messages and you will get a share of that, right?
The latter. So
Last one.
the last one. What we're telling airports is, let's have a steady stream of advertisements coming in from whichever source, and that we share equally because we are interested in recurring revenues from an airport. So where we are looking at investors also is where we are able to put some money on the table and say, tell airports this is your minimum guarantee. Today on digital advertising, you're not earning much at an airport, at least not personalized. There are digital boards at an airport, but if we can deliver, when we deliver a personalized notification on the mobile app, the eyeballs on it, the conversion on it will be much more higher compared to a run-of-the-mill advertisement inside the airport.
This last question.
Yes, sir.
So, you said about, giving a permission. So, is it an app that the person has to download?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
How do you take care of the security?
Security, can you elaborate a bit more, please?
Like you said that, what stack you're using. Now you're saying that even if it is in airline mode, you'll still be able to deliver the messages. So what protocol you're following? Are you breaching some security? How are you taking care of ensuring that the right protocols are followed, that, there is no spamming happening, all that?
So the spamming is an easy question to answer because it's up to the airport how they bombard or not bombard a particular traveler. And it also depends on the nature of agreement we will have with them. Regarding the security aspects, it's a simple encryption, decryption thing. Anybody who gets that signal wouldn't be able to understand what it means because they don't know how to decrypt it. As simple as that. Good question. So today, as per the different surveys that we've been through internationally even, one of the biggest pain points for travelers is not the wait time at the airport. It is the queuing.
I'll
Yeah.
be a little precise on that question. The demand as such meaning, today you know the problem. Does the customer realize that it's a problem and he has this accessibility? That's where I'm coming to. Your customer acquisition costs will come down and will define
Absolutely.
again your revenues,
Absolutely.
revenue flows, or you want to splurge something for marketing. These days, push marketing hardly works,
Sure.
right? So how is it that you're going to make sure or educate the customer that this is what you need? That's main.
Which is why we prefer a B2B model. When an airport and or an airline come on board, they take care of, they partner with us in letting customers know that you have this feature available. Let's say I'm traveling, even if I have data roaming or whatever, I want to put my phone on airplane mode because I don't want to be bothered, but still I want to be notified of flight changes, gate changes, etc. So a lot is dependent also on the way we market to the travelers, and that's why the B2B model and the partnership with airlines or airports will help us tell travelers that, look, this is available. Today, airport apps have very less, let's say, downloads, because if we look at most of the airport apps, at least in India, all of them, none of them give a personalized experience. If I download the airport app, I just see a huge list of arrivals and departures. That I can see on a board, I can see on the website. Why should I download an app? But if the airport app tells me something that is sensitive to my context, Venki, you're traveling with children, there is this offer on toys, there is this offer on, whatever. The boarding is going to close in 25 minutes from now. Then I'm interested in downloading the app. Yes and no. in beacons, you can send a signal. You can't modify it on the demand. Number one. Number two, airports are, from what we've seen, they are very highly allergic to beacons. The initial euphoria of deploying beacons has dropped down drastically, except for maybe some airport of
Geofencing, they do it obviously now. They have other formats of geofencing it and getting it to run pretty much all your iOS and Android are these days coming up with, say, already in a way that yes, I accept being pushed messages.
True, true. So that push technology that happens is based on an indoor positioning, that is proximity marketing.
But that doesn't need, to be on flight mode or not flight. That doesn't,
It uses Bluetooth. You're right. If what we're telling airports is you don't need to go for this solution if you are willing to invest in beacons and maintain them. Beacons are still our preferred option. But the challenge is, as far as beacons is concerned, airports have this phobia of security, number one. And after the initial euphoria of beacons dies down, Bangalore airport is a classic example. They bought, I don't know how many, 800 beacons. Now they want to dump them because the overhead of maintaining it tomorrow and replacing the batteries, monitoring them, the security that nobody flicks them, etc., is a big pain for airports. But beacon is our preferred technology.